You can start when it says it's live streaming.
Okay.
And start when it says go ahead. So for those who just joined or who are still joining in, we have end of the year exam on May 11th. And if you go to student services, click on student services and then click on 2024-25. No. Go to the drop down again and then scroll down. This end of your study guide. Click there. And then you'll see study guides for each grade. This is for KK to 3rd, 4th to 6th, and then you have the 7th to 12th grade study guide. So you all can download or whatever you want to do, but we are going to have questions from the study guide for your exam on May 11th, in addition to memorizing any 10 verses of the theme Krishna is everywhere. Is that doable, 10 verses from 20 verses? How many of you think it's doable? Or how many want to take the challenge of 20 verses? Vedant, yay! Supreet, yay! Anish, good. I'm so proud of you all. Okay, if you can, again, do it. If you can't do also, I'm still proud of you all. I know you all have so many other things to do. So try your best, at least a minimum of 10. You can go up to 20 also. That'll be really good. We'll do it on May 11th. We will have a 30-minute session for this question answers. And then we will do a 30-minute session of verse memorization. So this is how you navigate to your paper from the website. Everybody knows how to get there now? Cool. Okay, then we can stop sharing. We can start off with the class, with the bhajan. Who wants to do bhajan now? I can do. We will do a new bhajan. Bhajahure mana Shri Nanda Nandana Abhaya Charanara Vindare. I'm sharing it in the chat. Can somebody message in the WhatsApp chat reminding them of the class? Even if they're out somewhere, they can still join. Open this on your page, everyone, and you all can start singing along while I sing. Okay. Bhajahure mana Shri Nanda Nandana Abhaya Charanara Vindare. Bhajahure mana Shri Nanda Nandana Abhaya Charanara Vindare. Dulabha Manava Janama Satsange Taro hoye bhava sindhure. Dulabha manava janama satsange taro hoye bhava sindhure. Sita tapavata varishana he dina jamini jamire. Bifale sevino kripana durajana chapala shukala bala gire. Bhajahure mana Shri Nanda Nandana Abhaya Charanara Vindare. He dhanaya ovana putara parijana ite kiyache parati tire. Kamala dala jala jivana tala mala. Kamala dala jala jivana tala mala. Bajahu hari padani tire. Bhajahure mana Shri Nanda Nandana Abhaya Charanara Vindare. Shravana Kirtana Smarana Vandana Pada Sevana Dasyare. श्रवण कीर्तन स्मरण वन्दन पादसेवना दास्य रे पूजन सखी जनात्मनिवेदना गोविन्द दास अभिलाष रे पूजन सखी जनात्मनिवेदना गोविन्द दास अभिलाष रे भजहु रे मन श्रीनन्दनन्दन अभय चरण रविन्द भजहु रे मन श्रीनन्दनन्दन अभय चरण रविन्द. Let's read the English translation. I will ask each one of you to take turns and read the translation. So please go ahead. For those who just joined, let's share the link again. While I'm sharing, others can go ahead and start reading one translation.
O mind, just worship the lotus feet of the son of Nanda, which makes one fearless, having obtained this rare human birth, cross over this ocean of worldly existence through the association of saintly persons.
Both in the day and at night I remain sleepless, suffering the pains of the heat and cold, the wind and the rain. For a fraction of flickering happiness I have uselessly served wicked and miserly men.
What assurance of real happiness is there in all of one's wealth, youthfulness, sons, and family members? This life is tottering like a drop of water on a lotus petal. Therefore, we should always serve and worship the divine feet of Lord Hari.
It is the desire and great longing of Govinda Dasa to engage himself in the 9 processes of bhakti, namely hearing the glories of Lord Hari and chanting those glories, constantly remembering him and offering prayers to him, serving the Lord's lotus feet, serving the Supreme Lord as a servant, worshipping him with flowers and incense and so forth, serving him as a friend, and completely offering the Lord one's very self.
All right. Thank you all. So let's do the prayer. Please, somebody read the prayer now. Those who didn't read the translation, did everybody get the turn to read translation? Okay, those who didn't get translation, please read the prayer. Just say the prayer. Who is the one who didn't read translation? Why is it taking so long? Can you please do it fast soon?
Sorry, Mataji. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Nama Pankajnabhaya Nama Pankajmaline Namo Pankajnetraya Namaste Pankajangre Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadambayam Tatati Swapatantikam Vandeham Shri Gurun Vandeham Shri Gurun Shri Yuta Patakamalam Shri Gurun Vaisavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Paranjan Saita Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Laita Shri Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Vanchikalpa Tirupyascha Kripa Sindhobhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Thank you, Vedang. Let's move on to verse number 40 of chapter 10. Everybody has the book with you all. Okay, so let's get started. Vedang, repeat after me. Nantosti mama divyanam
Nantosti Mama Divyana,
vibhutinam parantapa
Vibhutinam Parantapa,
esha tu deshatah prokto
Eshatu Desata Prokto,
vibhute vistaro maya.
Vibhutir Vistaro Maya. Nantosti Mama Divyana,
Nantosti mama divyanam
Vibhutinam Parantapa,
vibhutinam parantapa
Esha Tudestaha Prokto,
esha tu deshata prokto
Esha tu desha. See that U is longer U, correct? Esha tu deshatah prokto
esha tu desha shata prokto
Vibhutir Vistaro Maya.
vibhutir vistaro maya Nantosmi nantosti mama divyanam
Nantosti mama divyanam
vibhutinam parantapa
vibhutinam parantapa
esha tu deshata prokto
esa tuddeshata prokto
vibhutir vistaro maya
vibhuter vistaro maya nantosti mama divyanam
Non, non, oops. Okay. Nantasti mama divyanam
vibhutinam parantapa
vibhutinam parantapa
esa tuddeshata prokto
eshatu deshata prokto
vibhuter vistaro maya
vibhutir vistaro maya nantosti mama divyanam nantosmi mama vidyanam vibhutinam parantapa vibhutinam parantapa eshatu deshata prokto
esha tu deshatah prokto
eshatu deshatah prokto eshatu deshatah prokto vibhutir vistaro maya vibhutir vistaro maya nantosti mama divyanam
Nantosti mama divyanam
vibhutinam parantapa
vibhutinam parantapa
eshatu deshatah prokto
esha tu deshatah prokto
vibhutir vistaro maya
vibhutir vistaro maya nantosti mama divyanam
Tantosti mama divyanam
vibhutinam parantapa
vibhutinam parantapa
esha tu deshatah prokto
esha tu deshatah prokto
vibhutir vistaro maya
vibhuter vistaro maya. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Let me open the translation. It's 40 of course. Arjuna is saying, sorry, Krishna is saying, O mighty conqueror of enemies. There is no end to my divine manifestations. What I have spoken to you is but a mere indication of my infinite opulences. So Lord Krishna is telling that whatever I've spoken till now to you, Arjuna, is only a small, tiny fraction of my infinite opulences. So what does it indicate now? When Krishna is saying in this verse that he started off saying, okay, whatever I've spoken to you till now is only a tiny, tiny bit of my infinite manifestations. What does it indicate now? Krishna is concluding all the opulences that he had listed so far. How many do you think he listed so far from the verse which we started off. How many do you think he from verse number 20 to 39, correct? This is the 40th verse we are doing. From 20 to 39, make, I know you didn't count maybe, but guess how many do you think you might have, how many categories or how many opulences he might have told so far?
Around 60.
You're close, but it's higher.
70.
You're close, still closer, but higher.
80.
82. So Krishna has listed 82 opulences from verse number 20 to 39. That makes how many verses totally? 20 to 39? 20 verses, correct? And then we had another few verses from chapter 7 where we took, Krishna says, what is that? The taste of water. Rasoham apsakonteya prabhasmisha surya. Those are from 7th chapter. So including those, it might come up to 90 or so. So he listed so many opulences, and finally he's saying, hey, there's much more, infinite. I mean, the list keeps on going. There's no end to my opulences because his creation is unending, is infinite. His creation is eternal. It already always existed. His creation is indestructible. It's never going to be destructed. And his creation is unending. So it is, that's how Krishna's creation is. And among all those things, he listed only around 90 of them and has told us. Why did Krishna even tell about these opulences? Can you all guess? Why would somebody tell, hey, I am so and so, this is my job, I achieved this trophy, or I created this, I invented this?
To show like Arjuna like why he's like qualified to tell him all these things, maybe.
That's true. That's true. And through Arjuna is telling us to all of us. But in chapter 9, in verse number 19, I think, or wait, let me tell which verse. In verse number 17, I'll send the link here to you all in this chat. Arjuna is asking, how do I remember you, Krishna? I know you are. Okay, open that verse, each one of you. And I'm making it interactive so that I'm making you all open it so that you all are participating in the class here. So he's asking, O Krishna, O Supreme Mystic, how shall I constantly think of you and how shall I know you? In what various forms are you to be remembered, O Supreme Personality of Godhead? So in answer to Arjuna's question as to how I should remember you, what are the various ways? Can you make it easy for me to remember? For example, let's say you have in your studies, right, in your coursework, you have to remember certain important points, which you know for sure will be asked in the exam, or you know that these are important topics which have to be covered. So don't you think, you tell me what will you do to remember those points? Each one might be having different ways of remembering, correct? But you definitely do something about it, correct? It's not like you will take it like any other topic. Those important topics which are told like will definitely appear in the exam. How do you take care of those? Anybody want to volunteer and tell me?
Mataji, what was the question? I was lagging.
How do you remember? What do you do to remember important questions of any subject or topic?
I study overnight and memorize the equations and stuff.
Correct, you do memorize, but in the process of memorizing, what are the tips and techniques you use? Yes, Anish, what do you do?
Like first you write down important things because when you write it like helps you remember them. And then you
You
can
write
like
it down. Okay, you write it down and you put the book somewhere. You probably are doing something more. You're writing it down and then what?
after you have to read what you wrote and reinforce. You have to
What
read
is it?
what
Huh?
you wrote.
You read what you wrote. Okay. I need some more details of how you implement it. Yes, Veda?
You can like summarize like the main parts and like reread it over and over.
Okay. Supreet?
So what I do is I write down notes for like
Mhm.
a certain topic, let's say, And
Mm-hmm.
then okay, I write down notes and then I look at the textbook to see what I missed. I study the parts that I missed, and then
Mm-hmm.
after like an hour or two, I do the same thing where I write down everything that's related to the topic. And then I just repeat until I have everything down.
Okay, very nice. Do you all make sticky notes and put it on your mirror, on your somewhere where you like on your door where you do you do that? For at least reminding, oh, today I have to do this homework or today I have to do this project. Do you do that or no? Why is everybody not being proactive? I mean, what do you all do to remember important things? You all are definitely doing something. Why are you all so silent?
I put it on my mirror,
You put it where, beta?
in like the bathroom mirror.
Bathroom mirror, yes. How about others? What do you all do? But I mean, sticky notes is one idea I gave you all, but you must be doing so many other things.
I keep a checklist of things I need to do for like the week,
Checklist. You
month.
do a checklist. What about others?
I have like a book, it's like a calendar, and I put it in there.
You have a calendar and you have a reminders there. You have reminders there. What else?
I have
I
like an
use
online schedule study thing where like I use AI and it tells me like what to study and when everything is, when my exams are.
So that you use AI for that? What do you do?
Yeah.
What does it do? What does AI do?
It like you like import in your class thing, then it'll tell you like when your next exam is and it tells you what topics you need to study and like when you should study it, like schedules everything out for you.
And then you keep the schedule probably very handy and
Yeah.
somewhere it is more visible for you so that you don't forget.
It's
Correct?
an
Yes.
app. It's an app.
Snap. Oh, nice. Okay. What else? Others. We need two more people. Sanvi is
I
just
just
quiet. Sanvi is an author of. She's a she's a journalist. What is that you said the other day? You were writing for a magazine where 15,000 people read. Is
yeah.
but why are
Um
you so silent in this class? Where is all
no,
the talent going in this class?
I mean I do the same thing as most people. I have it on my calendar, Auntie.
You have it on your calendar. Okay. What about Shrika? What do you do?
I use my reminders app on my phone.
So basically, you all are somehow compiling all the important information and putting it somewhere so that it reminds you, so that you don't lose track of it, and you are still aware and know in the know-how of that topic when it's going to come, or even the content of that. Not these are all reminders you're talking about, but there are some points which you want to remember. You might be doing some mapping, some points which don't make sense. You have to remember, so you come up with some mapping or some way of remembering it, correct? We all come up with doing that. So here when Arjuna asked the question, hey Krishna, how do I remember you I mean, what are the various ways I can remember you? That's exactly he's asking you, what various forms I can remember you? Because Arjuna knows that remembering Krishna is very important. Why? Because Krishna is saying that only through me, only by surrender unto me, only by devotion unto me, only by knowledge of me, only by doing activities and surrendering the results unto me can you become purified, can you attain the real purpose of human life. So all this information Arjuna was given, then Arjuna is asking, oh my God, this is very important for me to remember you, Krishna. So please tell me how I remember you. Then Krishna says, okay, there you go. Here you go. I have all these different aspects, and I'm listing you these 82 from this chapter, and he keeps on saying from chapter 20, from chapter 10 verse 20 to 39, different categories of his opulences. And then now Arjuna has enough notes to remember. And it's not only for Arjuna, right? Arjuna is actually already a great devotee of the Lord, but Arjuna was acting as an instrument, or he was an instrument for us to know more about Krishna. If not for Arjuna, let's say if Arjuna didn't ask this question, hey Krishna, how do I remember you? Then these answers would have not come out of Krishna, right? Krishna wouldn't have revealed his all these opulences and manifestations, and we wouldn't know, oh my God, Krishna is intricately part of everything that we see around. Now I see spring out of my window when I see beautiful leaves and all these beautiful flowers have come. How is all this happening? It doesn't happen randomly, right? There is some energy, some force, something that managing, and some system that has been created, and it is running under the direction of somebody. And that somebody is none other than Lord Krishna. So Krishna has listed so many opulences, and finally he's saying in these words that I have listed, and now there's nothing more for me to tell you. And I mean, there is much more, but this is only a fraction of all that um, all that is created, it's only a fraction of the entire creation. So when now the, when Arjuna asked Sri Krishna how he should think of him, and these glories have been described in response to Arjuna's questions. The mind is naturally drawn to these glories, correct? These specialities. Whenever we hear about something, we remember that better. And the Lord has revealed these specialities among his powers. Whenever we see a special power manifesting in anybody or anywhere, then we'll remember that it's God's glory. Even if I'm thinking I'm a great singer, I'm a great mathematician, I'm not, but I'm just saying I'm a great, let's say a person is thinking I'm a great dancer, singer, tennis player, mathematician, or whatever. They should actually think, oh, I'm able to do this because of Krishna's blessing. Krishna's, of course, it's my desire, and then Krishna has facilitated, has empowered me, and therefore I'm able to do it. So, not only in others, but we see it in ourselves too, and become more conscious of Krishna. So, in the large scheme of things, God's glories are in all things big and small. It's not only about big things, as I said, Krishna is everywhere, but he's glorifying himself through the big things, the splendorous things, the opulent things. But Krishna is also in the smallest of the smallest things. So he is by remembering Krishna in this form, what will happen? Our devotion for Krishna will increase. And that is the whole point, right? So whenever you see any glorious thing around us, we should remember Krishna. So that's about today's verse. Let's see what Prabhupada has to say. We'll just do that. And then we'll move on to talk about the festival that we celebrated yesterday, or some of us are doing it today. So Prabhupada is saying in the purport, everything has a cause, and that cause or seed of manifestation is Krishna. Without Krishna's energy, nothing can exist. Therefore, he is called omnipotent. Without his potency, neither the movable nor the immovable can exist. Whatever existence is not founded on the energy of Krishna is called Maya, that which is not. I want to give one example and proof that Krishna is, because for us it might not make sense still, because we might think, oh, what? I mean, yeah, theoretically it makes sense, but practically I think I'm doing everything. I don't think Krishna is helping me or Krishna is doing for me. That's what we might all be thinking. Because if I don't desire to do, Krishna cannot push me to do. Or if I want to work, Krishna can not stop me to work. That's what you might be thinking and confident. But there's one nice proof of this fact that Krishna is the cause of all causes. So when Krishna was on this planet in Dwapar Yuga, you all know that. You all know that, right? Krishna appeared in Dwapar Yuga and he's performed so many pastimes. He was the son of Vasudeva and Devaki. He was moved um, into the guidance of his mother's, the parents who brought him up, Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj. He performed many pastimes in Vrindavan. He killed so many demons. Finally, he was invited by his maternal uncle Kamsa to fight him. There also he killed the elephant Kubalaya Pida, and then finally he also destroys Kamsa, and finally he releases his parents, and then he himself goes to Dwaraka and gets crowned as the king of Dwaraka. And all these pastimes he performs, and then there is this Kurukshetra war that happens between whom?
Pandavas and Kauravas.
Pandavas and Kauravas. And then when this war happens, Krishna supports whom?
Pandavas.
Why does Krishna support Pandavas?
Because they're righteous. And
Wow, very nice, amazing answers. So Krishna supports Pandavas, and finally, and the Pandavas are crowned as the king. Yudhishthir was crowned as the king of Hastinapur, and then Pandavas were very sad after the war. Why?
Because they had to kill some of their own family members.
Yeah, not only their family members, they had to kill. A lot of people lost their lives, and they were thinking, "Oh my God, for us to enjoy this throne, did we have to kill so many people?" So Krishna had to stay with them for maybe 2, 3 years to console them, make them feel like, no, it's not your it was not your mistake. It was the choice made by some unrighteous people, and all the people who supported those unrighteous people had to be taken out. And that's the message to the entire world, that when people take wrong sides, they have to take the consequences. That's the reason this war happened. So, Pandavas, don't worry. It was not you who made this war, it was under my direction it happened. And he stayed there to pacify them. And finally, Pandavas were very thankful to Lord Krishna, and they performed this great sacrifice called Rajasuya Yagna, where all the demigods, the celestial beings were invited, and the entire creation, they all came to attend. And amidst that big ceremony, Pandavas did the wonderful thing, which is they washed the feet of Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and worshipped him to prove to all of us that Krishna is the supreme worshipable entity for all of us. So Krishna was so pleased, and finally he left to his kingdom, and he ruled his kingdom, and finally it was time for Krishna to give up his appearance on this planet, because at one point Dwapar Yuga was going to come to an end, because it's a cycle of time, right? The yugas go in a sequence: Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Kali Yuga. So now, after Krishna finished his role, his job as to why he had come to protect his devotees, to destroy the demons, right? Why do you think Krishna appeared in the first place in Dwapar Yuga? Do you all remember why?
I think it was because there were like demons, and then there was no peace.
And then who went and asked Krishna to appear?
Bhumi Devi.
Huh?
Bhumi Devi.
Correct. Bhumi Devi. Mother Earth was tortured by the demons that were on the earth, and therefore she went to, where did she go? Where did Mother Earth go first?
Brahma.
Shiva, I think.
To
Oh,
Lord
she
Brahma.
went.
To Lord Brahma. I think Anish said that. So she went to Lord Brahma, and then what did Lord Brahma say?
We talked to Lord Vishnu.
They all together, along with the demigods, Lord Shiva, everyone, all of us, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Mother Earth, all of them went together to the banks of the Milky Ocean, where Lord Vishnu is lying, and then they went and offered prayers. First thing they do is offer prayers, glorify him. And then when Lord Narayana spoke to them, they told that this is the problem on earth. So many demons are there, and Mother Earth is being tortured. Then Narayana said, don't worry, I'm coming down to protect my devotees and to protect the earth, and also to destroy the demons. And that's how Narayana comes in the form of Lord Krishna. Of course, Krishna is the Sampurna avatar. He comes as it is. And then when he comes, he finishes all these various things that he had come, the purpose that he had come for. And then finally, when it's time for him to give up his appearance, do you all know how Krishna gives up his material, his appearance, he winds up his pastimes and leaves this material world.
He
How do you know? Do
shot.
you all know how?
He shot by some archer, right?
He's shot by an archer, and then finally gives up his material body, and then his spiritual body. Sorry, he takes that as a pretext to leave this planet and go, and that's the time when Arjuna actually had gone to visit Dwaraka, and he was returning back. As he was returning back, he hears the news of Krishna leaving the planet. As soon as he hears, he also notices certain symptoms on this material planet, like everything was not as charming, and he himself feels like he lost his power, because Arjuna is very powerful archer, you all know, right? He's called Dhananjaya, he's called so many adjectives. Krishna uses entire Bhagavad Gita to describe the power of entire Pandavas, and Arjuna was very strong warrior and also an archer. So on the way back, he actually had to protect some women who were being attacked by the dacoits. And Arjuna was, now, when he's fighting the dacoits, he gets utterly defeated by the dacoits. And he sees that he has lost his power because Krishna has left the planet now. So that's the proof that now Arjuna realizes how he was being nourished and protected by Krishna throughout. Does that mean that Krishna, if he's not on this planet, is not going to protect his devotees? No, it is only for us to realize through Arjuna that we are being nourished and protected by Krishna. Whatever talents we have today, whatever abilities we have, are all because of the blessings of Lord Krishna. And through Arjuna's experience, we all can understand how magical and how Krishna is the cause of all causes. So Arjuna realizes and he thinks, whoa, now Krishna is not here. He didn't see Krishna leaving the planet, but he heard, and now he's experiencing, and he's totally devastated. Why? Not because he lost his power, but because his best friend, his dear friend, and the person whom he loved the most, whom he worshipped the most, is no longer on this planet to continue the pastimes. So now Arjuna is very sad, and he comes back to Hastinapur, and then Yudhishthir also is noticing some symptoms in the material nature which indicate that something abnormal is happening. The world is not the same as before. And upon inquiring Arjuna, he comes to know that Lord Krishna has left the planet. As soon as he knows, the Pandavas come to know that Krishna has left the planet, it is an indication to them that now their purpose on this planet is also not needed. It's also done. It's not needed for them to also continue living anymore. So what they do, I mean, this it's a way of gradually withdrawing, and then they slowly withdraw and eventually give up, go to the north, and eventually voluntarily take that renunciation. They do that. That's a different pastime which I will narrate later. However, here I wanted to let us know the proof that Krishna is the cause of energy, the source of energy even within Arjuna. That's the proof. Through Arjuna's pastime, we all have to develop that faith and start becoming conscious of Krishna's role in our life. Make sense to all of you? Can you all relate to this or share your thoughts or comments on this? Sanvi?
Sorry, share my thoughts and comments on the story, or
Anything in general on this topic?
oh, okay. Sorry. I think it's really interesting that like as soon as Krishna left, the planet kind of changed, and then they saw the shift in the planet. I'm confused as to how like that shows us that he's gonna like be here, like the planet is gonna be okay when he's watching over instead of actually being here.
Is that a question for me?
Yeah, that's a question.
Sis, can you say that again?
So like the story is supposed to give us reassurance that like we're gonna be okay, like because Krishna's watching over us, right? Is that like the purpose of the story?
The story was to give us faith that Krishna is the cause of all the abilities and talents and whatever we are, right? We have.
Okay.
Just like how Arjuna was a great warrior, he was this unbeatable, correct? But he was defeated simply by a group of dacoits who were like ordinary robbers or whatever,
Yeah.
which proved to him that now that Krishna has left the planet, and the purpose that Krishna had given that strength or the blessings to Arjuna was for a higher cause, correct? To fight against the Kauravas and establish righteousness. Of course, here protection of the women was also a cause, but it's only a pastime for us to realize how Krishna's hand is there in everything that's happening in our life.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it does not mean because Krishna left the planet, now everybody is going to be powerless, energyless, talentless, capabilityless. It doesn't mean that. But it's only a, what you call a jerk of, um, for us, for all of us to know, oh my God, Krishna, that is just to feel Krishna's presence,
That makes sense.
right? And now that Krishna has left the planet, of course, in Treta, in Kali Yuga, Krishna is not here as Lord Krishna, but he appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 500 years ago. And he told that in Kali Yuga, the name of the Lord is as powerful as the Lord himself. So Lord Krishna might not be there in person here. He is for those devotees who are strongly connecting with him through prayer, through devotional service. But for all of us here, Krishna is not here like how he was with Arjuna at that time. Yes? Right? But Krishna is saying, I'm as powerful as, my name is as powerful as me. So his name is with us. Can anybody separate us from Krishna's name? It's as simple as saying Krishna. Right? But that, to say that prayer, to say his name and feel his presence, will happen only when we do it with faith. And to instill faith are these pastimes which we talked about. How Krishna is the source, of all the energy. Prahalad Maharaj, right? He was constantly chanting Lord Krishna's names, Narayana's names. Therefore, he was always protected by Krishna. So, on that note, do you have any more comments, Anvi? Anything to elaborate or anything to say?
Not really. I think that was my main only question I had.
Anyone else has any comments? Yes, Veda.
Like, do we know like who the archer was who like hit Krishna's foot?
Actually, there is one pastime. I don't remember exactly who that archer was. Maybe it's something related to the Ramayana pastime, right? Where Rama kills that one of them from the side, isn't it? Which pastime is that? Ramayana is Ram Navami is coming up next Sunday. Do you all remember the story when from behind the tree Lord Rama kills someone? Is it Wali?
Oh, the two like monkey king.
Hmm. So one of them comes in this life, and as the archer, we can discuss more. I have to come gather the exact information and come back. I'm not very prepared for that. I don't want to give wrong information.
So the archer like does that on purpose?
No, Archer did not do it on purpose. He thought it was a bird. Krishna was lying down on his back and putting his foot on the other on his knee, and then he was like relaxing and moving his knee, and then it appeared to the archer from far off that's a bird, and then he shot at that. It was not intentional to destroy Krishna. Okay, yes, Shrika.
So I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So for someone who's like faithful to Krishna,
Mm-hmm.
say like if something bad happens to them, like they get into an like they break their leg or get into an accident, what does that mean? Does it mean like Krishna's not currently present?
Oh, very nice question. Let's take the example of Pandavas, right? Now, do you all know the history of how Pandavas were born, what all they had to go through till the time they had engaged in the war and then won in the war and on the throne? Pandavas were born, and then as soon as Pandavas were born, within few, actually Pandavas were taken care by the widow mother Kunti, Queen Kunti. You all know, right? And from the time they were born, Queen Kunti was taking care of them. However, they were always being cornered by Kauravas because Duryodhana was always worried that Pandavas, when they grow up, they will take over the kingdom. Duryodhana wanted to be the king of Hastinapur. And he was always eyeing them and trying to destroy them, thinking that these people, when they grow up, they are going to be very powerful because Bhima is very powerful, Arjuna is very powerful, Yudhishthir is righteous, and Nakula Sahadev also were. They were also very talented. So these five brothers, if we allow them to grow up and become adults, they are going to take over the kingdom, and I cannot be the king. So in order to prevent them from becoming the kings, he always plotted plans to destroy the Pandavas. Right from childhood, he would fight with them. He would push them into, especially Bhima. He would give him poisonous cake so that Bhima can eat that and die. It was to such an extent, so much animosity that Duryodhana wanted to destroy the Pandavas. So now Pandavas were very devoted. They were very surrendered to Lord Krishna. Queen Kunti was actually always praying to Lord Krishna. Despite all this, the Pandavas were being subjected to so many troubles. They were sent to exile for so many years. They were put in a house which was made of wax, and the house was set to fire so that they could be burnt in that house. However, by Krishna's protection, and with the help of Vidura, they could escape from that house. Right? So now Krishna was with them, and the Pandavas were devotees of Lord Krishna. Queen Kunti was a devotee of Lord Krishna. Despite all that, They had to go through so many troubles. They had to even go to forest for so many years. 12 years of exile and 1 year of incognito. And they were cheated in the gambling match. How did all these wrong things happen to them, even though they were devotees of Lord Krishna? This is to prove that the devotees of Lord Krishna will be still devoted and will still be righteous despite all the difficulties that come their way. They will accept everything and take it in a stride and do whatever is right despite the challenging situations. It's a test of faith. It's a test of the belief that we have in higher power and the test of how you accept challenges in life. Because only when you take on the challenges can you become stronger and pass greater exams. Because if you want to become an expert in any art or any subject or any sport, you have to take on to challenges. Yes or no? Let's say if you don't practice, if you don't play practice in tournaments or your exams, you don't take tough practice papers, do you think you will pass in the final exam, which is very, very, very high, I mean, what do you say, very tough? For you to pass in an exam or for you to win a tennis or let's say US Open tennis, right? For somebody who's playing in US Open, they have to have had so many practices and so many times they've had to fail and so many times they had to even break their ankles, legs, knees and all. And then despite all that, they practice, they do whatever it takes to become successful, then come to US Open and then they pass. Then they're called good tennis players. Similarly, a good devotee will prove that they're good devotees, that they will not be shaken in their faith and they will always trust the higher power if they continue to handle all challenges that come in their life, whether it's breaking leg or losing somebody whom you love or becoming failing in an exam or whatever. You still think, oh, I did my best and I will do my best. And whatever happens is Krishna's arrangement for me. And I will smile at anything that happens to me. But I will continue working hard. So it doesn't mean that all devotees will have a hunky-dory happy life. And for us, example is Pandavas. Isn't it? Pandavas had to go through so many difficulties. And why are these pastimes coming? That's why I was telling when I was telling Varaha's appearance day, Krishna comes not only to destroy the demons, protect his devotees, to establish righteousness, but he also comes to perform these various pastimes with his devotees to show us the right path. That despite challenges, my devotees never shake or lose their faith. If we don't have these inspiring stories, what would I have told you? I would have told you, no, 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 Shrika, even if that person loses their leg, they have to still have faith in God. Only when I give you example, hey, look at Pandavas. They had so many troubles. They were top devotees. If you like to take the list of devotees, top devotees of Krishna, Pandavas will be the topmost. The topmost devotees having the topmost troubles in their life. If Pandavas were not there, if the pastime was not there, what example would I give you? Like there's so many devotees, Prahalad Maharaj, Ambarish Maharaj, Sandeep, what is his name? Sudama, best friend of Krishna. So many devotees. Sudama he was literally like a poverty stricken. He didn't have even money to buy food or clothes for his own children. He was top devotee. Then one might question, if he's top devotee, why is he so poor? Because Sudama wanted to accept the grace of the Lord. If Krishna's plan for me is to be like this, never mind, I'm going to be like this. But I'll still continue to do my prayers and my worship of Krishna. I will continue doing my hard work. I will continue. Then his wife says, hey, your children are starving. Can you go and ask your friend? And Sudama was hesitant. He was thinking, oh, I shouldn't be asking my friend for exchange of some services like this. That is not friendship. Friendship is not like going and asking. That's what his definition of friendship was. He was thinking, no, my friend is there, but I don't want to go and ask him. And trouble him because he's a king. He has his own things to do. I don't want to go trouble him and ask him about my silly things. But since his wife asked, he goes to the palace of the king. He takes few and he's thinking about what to give to Krishna, despite he not having anything. He's thinking, what can I give to Krishna when I meet him? I want to give something to Krishna. So he finds few broken piece of old chipped rice and he packs them in his torn cloth, the one that he puts on his shoulder, the towel or whatever. And then he ties it up in that and he goes to see Krishna. The gatekeepers won't allow him because look at him, he's looking torn clothes, he's not even looking clean. And why is he going to meet Krishna? He is like a beggar. I will not let him meet Krishna. And then Sudama was like, okay, what do I do? I'm not being let inside. But Krishna knows the heart of his devotees. He himself comes running to the gate of Sudama. He hugs him. He takes him into the palace. He puts him on his throne, and then he starts washing his feet. And then he even drinking that water and is putting that water on his head because he's thinking, see, whenever a great person's feet are washed and we the drink or put the water of that washed feet on our head, it is a sign of purification. We are purifying our physical self, and when we drink we are purifying our internal self, and when we do it with faith we are purifying our consciousness too. So for Krishna, see, for all of us Krishna is the god, but for Krishna his devotees are very dear. So because Sudama was his top devotee, he's washing his feet and putting it. And then Rukmini is like, what is happening here? Because she's also pretend. It's a pastime again. Don't ask me. Oh, why Rukmini should know, right? Why is she thinking like it's a pastime. She's trying to express her wonder like us. We are all like, why would Krishna do that, right? Like that, like an ordinary person. She was also amazed. And finally she's like, what's happening? And then Sudama, in that overwhelming love that Krishna was showing, he even forgets to ask what his wife had sent him for. That is important thing, right, for Sudama? Because his wife had sent him for that. But for him, that was not priority. I saw Krishna, I met him, look at him, he's such a great king and he's my friend. And I had his darshan, and look at him, how nicely he's treating me. Oh my God, I have to learn so much from him. He's so merciful, he's so kind. And then finally, he walks back home without even asking him anything. As he's walking back home, when he comes to the place where he thinks his house is supposed to be, there is a big palace. And he's thinking, I came to the wrong street. This is not the place where I live. But then meanwhile, a lady and some kids come running out, and he's not able to even recognize those people because they're all dressed up in nice, expensive silken clothes and ornaments, and they're looking so different. And then his wife calls out his name, just says, hey, you there, I'm here. And he's like, who are you? I'm your wife. And the kids also call out. They're all dressed up and they have now very opulent. So Krishna is now proving that my devotees, despite me giving them so many difficulties, they don't even ask me to help them. For them, it's not about them, it's about others. Sudama was a Brahmana. He would serve others through his knowledge, through his scriptural knowledge that he had. He would always chant and inspire others into devotion. He would give. Sudama was always giving rather than asking. That's why even when he went to meet Krishna, he was thinking about what do I take to Krishna from the little that he had. So in answer to your question, I gave a very long answer, Shrika. But again, I was trying to make the point that difficulties come to even devotees. When difficulties come to devotees, their faith in God becomes deeper, stronger. They think, oh, Krishna is now taking personal interest in me and trying to work on my life. They take it even more seriously and they become even more faithful. Whereas non-devotees, they start when doubting. Does Krishna even exist? What type of God is this? He's not even fair. He's giving me so many difficulties despite I being so nice to him. I go to his temple. I learn a Bhagavad Gita verse every week. I attend Gita Vice class every Sunday. But what good is happening to me? Forget it. I'm not going to believe in God anymore. And then Krishna doesn't mind even if you don't believe. He says, so be it. Whatever you desire, I will make it happen for you. You don't want to learn Bhagavad Gita verse? Don't learn. If you don't want to participate in becoming more serious devotee, fine. I don't want to force it on you. Love is never forced, right? If I tell Sanvi, please love me, you have to please reciprocate with me, she'll think, what the heck? How can she force me to love her? I have to love. I mean, it has come naturally, isn't it? Love can never be forced. The more you force upon others, the more they will start hating you. Yes or no? Love is a single thing which cannot be forced. Anything you can buy, anything you can force and grab. But love, no way. It has to come naturally. It has to happen. That's why Krishna will leave it on us to love him. But he facilitates. Whenever we desire to love him, he will facilitate. Whenever we desire to forget, also he will facilitate. Does it answer, Shrika? Any other questions or points? We're 2 minutes away from the class time. Any other comments, please? Do speak. So again, May 11th is the end of the year exam date. You have to go to GeetaWise website, go to student services, go to 24-25 tab. Under there, you'll see the last tab where you see end of the year exam study guide. And questions will come from there. Those who can memorize all 20 verses, please do, but a minimum of 10 memorization verses is needed for you all to graduate from this theme of the year. Krishna is everywhere. All right. Thanks, everyone. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Thanks, everyone. Hare Krishna.